We have a few vocabulary terms we need to run through, so we'll put those in here. So the first thing that we want to discuss is this is called a question. More specifically, a statistical question. We'll just leave it as question. So a question can be answered by collecting many pieces of information or data and summarizing the results. This is what you're doing in your project, is you are investigating this question about what are opinions on this topic, or how much do people know about this topic. You're collecting data and summarizing that. So a few terms that we need to know. A population is all of the members in a group being studied. Populations are large groups. Okay, so in your study, the population might be people in Williams County. It might be Bryan High School students, something like that. Now, a census is a survey that collects data from all members of a population. So if you want to have a census of something, you need to have data from everyone. We actually do a census in the United States every 10 years. One's coming up in 2020. You may have heard something about it. They are usually difficult to conduct, really expensive, and really time consuming. It is very hard to get to every single person in the population. I mean, just think about it for Bryan High School. Like if you wanted to conduct a survey on Bryan High School students, it would be really difficult because that's hundreds of people. A Google survey is not going to do it, sending out a Google form. Won't do it because some people won't answer, so then you have to go track them down. So when we can't do a census to find out information about the whole population, what we do instead is we get a sample. A sample is a smaller group, a subset of the population that's being studied. So instead of asking everyone at Bryan High School, we maybe only randomly select 50 people and ask them. And we use data from those 50 people, that sample, to make a guess, an inference about the whole population. A few other terms. A parameter is a measure that describes a population. Usually we do not know parameters because you only know parameters if you've been able to do a census. So usually we don't know parameters. But what we do know is a statistic. A statistic is a measure that describes a sample. So when you conduct a survey and you only ask a smaller group of people, your sample, you can then calculate statistics about them. We use those statistics to make inferences about the whole population. Our last two terms here is quantitative. That's hard to type and say at the same time. Quantitative data is numerical data that can be compared, added, subtracted, and operated on. So things like age, height, the number of pets you own, those types of things, numerical data. The other type of data that we often deal with is called qualitative. That is non-numerical data, and that describes or categorizes. So something like gender, someone's favorite color, who they're going to vote for. Those are not numbers. You can't add, subtract, and those types of things with those things. So we call them qualitative data. So now that we have all these terms, in the next video we will discuss how we pick good samples, because that's going to be something you're doing in your survey, is you need to pick a sample to represent your population and how you pick that well. So I want to show you a quick picture of this. Remember, population is a large group. So if your population, like we said, is Bryan High School, or maybe people in Bryan or Williams County, that's great. Your survey is not going to hit all of those people. So you're going to be picking a sample, a smaller group, to conduct your survey on. How you pick this group really, really matters in how good of data you get. So that's what we'll be discussing in the next video.